Let's bring in Arizona State Senator Jake Hoffman, who was a close friend of Charlie's and organized as well as emceed the vigil held at the Kennedy Center last night. State Senator, thank you so much for being here. Tell us what it was like to be in that room.
Well, listen, it was an incredible evening. It was a God-filled evening. And I think that's the single most powerful takeaway from last night, is that every single speaker that got up talked about Charlie's love for Jesus. You know, Charlie had a firm commitment to the fact that if you love Jesus and if you follow Jesus, he will rescue you. And that was evidenced in the impact that we all saw. Because what we see last night and all across the country as these memorials break out organically is that his reach and impact went so much further than just college campuses. He reminded the highest echelons of American government and world leadership that faith plus courage plus truth is the only solution to saving not only America, but Western civilization. It was a beautiful night, and we were so grateful for the thousands of people that showed up to celebrate Charlie's life.
Did you sense a resoluteness in that room to carry on Charlie's mission?
I did. You know, actually, at one point during the evening, I had the opportunity to ask. I said, if you're in this room and you're under the age of 35 and Charlie impacted your life, you know, make some noise. And it was incredible. It was thunderous. They brought down the house. And it really goes to show, I mean, look, these are young people that came in. They work on Capitol Hill. They live in Virginia and Maryland. And they took the time to drive into D.C., to go to the Kennedy Center, and to say, Charlie, we hear you. We want to be the torchbearers moving forward for your vision and your dream for free and open and honest and civil debate, something that Charlie gave his life defending.
There was also something, State Senator, that happened yesterday that was very disturbing. And there was a 19-year-old in Phoenix who was wearing a shirt very similar to the one that the alleged assassin wore, which showed an American flag and an eagle on it. And he trampled a memorial outside the Turning Point USA headquarters for Charlie. And you see some people getting involved right there and stopping this person from desecrating this memorial for Charlie. He was later arrested and is being charged. But this obviously raises concerns over copycats. As a friend of Charlie's, how do you respond to this?
Well, listen, it's disgusting and it's despicable, the reaction from the left. Far too many have been celebrating this tragic demise of Charlie Kirk, this slaying of truly a civil rights icon of our time. And so I'm grateful to the patriots who stepped in and stopped that outside of the Turning Point headquarters. And look, I think what Charlie would want for all of America is tone down the rhetoric. Let's instead focus on free and honest and open debate. Let's focus on an exchange of ideas that makes us stronger, not one that divides us. And that's something that, you know, not only did Charlie push for, but obviously his relationship with Vice President J.D. Vance, President Trump, they have all been on the same page that we need solutions to America's problems. We need things that root us deeply in our founding principles and the principles that make America exceptional, not the principles of division and death and destruction like we see coming from one side of the political aisle right now.
So the question now becomes, what comes next? In the near term, President Trump will attend Charlie Kirk's funeral, but it goes well beyond that. Turning Point has just announced there have been 32,000 requests for new chapters across the country. Think of that in context. Turning Point currently has 900 official college chapters and 1,200 high school chapters, so 32,000 is a much bigger number. So I'll ask you, what is next for Charlie's vision? What comes next?
Well, you know, Erica, I think just blew the world away the other night on Jesse's show with that incredibly powerful speech. And what I can tell you is I have had the great pleasure of working closely with Turning Point for over 10 years now. And I'm inside a lot of the staff threads, and the resolve that I see from these 20-something-year-olds that they are doubling and tripling down on Charlie's mission to save Western civilization through the founding principles of this nation is so encouraging to me. And I think what you're going to see is that, you know, there's an old axiom that you slay a tyrant and his reign ends, but you slay a martyr and his reign just begins. And that is going to be Charlie's legacy. Amazingly, his impact in death will be so much greater than he could have ever dreamt when he was alive.
And Erica said during those remarks, if they thought my husband's mission was big now, you have no idea.
That's
State
right.
Senator Jake Hoffman, thank you so much for joining us. A job well done in organizing that vigil that was attended by our nation's leaders as we continue to remember the life and legacy of Charlie.
Thank you both
appreciate
for
you
having
joining
me.
us. Yes.
I